Welcome back to another episode of Ghost Encounters of the Third Kind, and tonight we have Mark O'Donoghue back with us, and we've got Nick C, Marie and Faye, and tonight I think we're just going to do a general chit chat on just paranormal stuff.
Hi.
Hi. Are you alright?
You're right.
You're
right.
I don't know. How are you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
Good. Taking notice of these. Bunch of lunatics. So we're just going to have a general chat on paranormal investigations and anything you want, really. Equipment and all that. What's your favourite piece of equipment, Mark?
My favourite piece of equipment? What, for ghost hunting?
No, then, if you tell us what your favourite piece of equipment.
We're not going down that road.
Yeah, just keep it clean.
It's anything that hasn't got an on button.
Right.
I can't
you
operate
can't
on
find
buttons.
Yeah, you do struggle with that, don't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Ouija boards and sort of video motor equipment like pendulums and stuff.
Yeah. What about the human pendulum? Do you like that?
Human pendulum.
Marie. Oh, no.
We hate that.
Someone said the word. That's my pet hate. The human pendulum.
I know, but it should be a good one, shouldn't it? Because you're using your own body, so
It's a
in
farce.
theory it should be good.
Yeah, but it's not though, is it? It's just you standing
We used
upright
to do it down the park when we were younger.
on a
That was
200-year-old
on
floor.
2020 Mad Dog, that was. Indeed.
You can't stand up straight with your feet together, with your eyes closed, and not sway. You just cannot do it. And then add to that, you're standing on a 200-year-old floor that's, all higgledy-piggledy. It's just nonsense. I'm sorry. It's nonsense.
I don't know, I quite like it now.
So what's this? What exactly is this then?
Oh, don't you
Human
know about the
pendulum?
human pendulum?
No.
No,
So it's
you'll never live, man.
so the dowsing crystals that can be used that sway back and forth or
Yeah.
whatever. It's basically the same concept, but with a human. So
Who's doing
some
the
of
swinging though?
That's a different
so
podcast.
basically, it's used by a few of these big companies that do the paid events, and they'll ask one of the guests, to stand, and ask them to stand with their feet together, and then they'll get two people, one in the front, one behind them, just to keep them safe in case they fall. And then ask which they do, and then ask them for them to close their eyes, and then ask questions. And if you sway backwards and forwards, it could be a yes. It's a human pendulum.
Oh, God.
That's exactly what it is.
That's swinging.
It's a load of shit.
You seem quite amused with that one, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a stage hypnosis technique where you put your feet together because you've got no balance whatsoever.
Exactly.
So
Especially when you're top heavy, like
yeah,
me.
the
It's like a
hypnotist
wiggle wobble, I am.
sort of moves you, and you automatically go into a trance.
Really?
Yeah. Because you've got no balance, have you? So it's like he'll give a suggestion, and if you notice stage hypnosis, when they're doing like the stand-up ones, they'll rock them forwards and backwards because they've got the subject's got no sort of control. So that gives the perception that the hypnotist has got all the control.
There you go. The human pendulum.
Still shit.
Pendulum. Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to do it a lot at Full Green Hall.
That's where I saw.
On that wonky floor. And it's funny. The ball always used to roll as well on that floor.
No.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Used to throw it and it
Used to roll back.
rolling back, yeah. It's like about 90 degrees into the floor.
No, that was the poltergeist.
Oh, right,
That was the
okay.
poltergeist.
I got it wrong.
So while we've got you, Mark, we had you a couple of weeks ago for your hypnosis talk.
It's gone quick on it.
I know, it's gone fly by. I'm just going to ask you your favourite location as well.
Oh, favourite location.
You're right on one, aren't you, tonight?
Just rude.
Favourite location? I've got so many.
think it was the Ravens Nuke wanted the other week.
Ravens Nuke?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Memorable.
was
then.
that the other week?
You had a block
Was that
start.
the other week?
I enjoyed doing the wood farm, what we used to do, and with Nick C. There was a lot of different things going on. Greasley Hall in Derbyshire, is it Greasley or Gresley? That was really fascinating. It's the only time I've ever been scared, actually.
We were on about this. I was telling you about it one time. It's pretty good. It's only small, wasn't it? But it's a good place, like.
But that loft, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's alright.
But yeah, I've been most of my invests have been with Nick C. So
Yeah, they've all been ace.
What's the best evidence you've ever got?
Best evidence.
We didn't get on
None.
that.
It was just a good night.
I just couldn't.
I would say the Greasley Hall when me and Ben went up in the loft, because the 4 women were up there before us.
Yeah.
And they were doing not a lone vigil, but just a female only vigil upstairs. And they had loads of sniggering and stuff, and somebody threw a spear at them or something.
Something went at them,
Yeah. So they come running down screaming, and we said, "Oh, why don't we send one of the blokes up, like doing a lone vigil?" And me and Ben, we said, "Oh, we'd go up." So we went up in the loft, and it was pitch black. It was horrible black. Even when you've got like your audio light on your audio equipment, you couldn't see anything from it. Like you could just see that light, and everything else was pitch black. And then what happened was Ben was standing. It was like 2 separate rooms that was separated by an archway. And Ben was standing in the archway, and I was sitting by the table with the audio equipment. And Ben started asking if there's anybody there, and said if there's anybody there, make a noise, or all the usual stuff. And nothing was happening. And he says, if there's anybody there, touch one of us, hit one of us. And next thing here was, and I switched my torch on quick, wondering what it was. It was Ben come flying. I said to him, "Have you just tripped over or something?" He said, "No, I've just been pushed." Anyway, he says my back's burning up. So I said to him, then he said to me, he says, "Can you have a look at my back, see if you can see anything, because it's really burning." So I looked on his back, and there was an handprint right in the centre and the top of his back. Like you could see the sort of fingers, and they're just going red, started glowing. So he gave me his phone, says take a photo of it, and I'll go show the rest of them downstairs. So I took a photo of it. He went downstairs. I started following him. Got to the top of the stairs, like where the doorway is, and I couldn't sort of go any further. Oh no! What happened is I had a camera bag on my shoulder, and that come back. I thought I caught it on something, so I turned around. There was nothing there for it to catch on. It just pulled me back. So I then sort of confused a little bit. I started walking towards the door again, and I couldn't walk down. It was like a piece of perspex in the doorway, and I couldn't physically go through it. So I stood back, trying sort of get my composure. And then all of a sudden, I got this loud sniggering, and then I'm sort of trying to assess what's going on, and sort of froze a little bit. Then all I heard was like that, like a growl. And I think Jamie was with us on that. He shouted up, he says, "Are you alright?" Because I think he heard the growl. And I said, "Yeah." And then I was able to walk down the stairs. But when I got back home, that sniggering and the growl was actually on my audio.
Wow.
Well, we got a cat last week, didn't we, on our audio? Was it last week or the week before? Whatever.
Yeah, on one of the, was it the Afterlife podcast that we did?
Yeah.
Um,
We actually heard it. It was like
Well,
disembodied.
you guys did. I didn't, but I think I was talking at the time, wasn't I?
Probably.
I was talking at the time, but then these 3 guys heard a cat, like a cat meow. There's obviously no cats were in the building, but I didn't hear it at the time. But listening back to the podcast when Nick published it, I could hear it then.
Has that gone out? Has that one gone out?
Yeah.
It says on the podcast. It says actually on the noises.
Yeah.
There's 2 noises actually, 2 meows.
But that is what everybody would hear would be post edit, so it might not. I couldn't hear it, to be honest, when I listened to it.
Right, I heard it. I did.
I heard
So
it was
be.
Have you heard it on the recording?
No.
It was probably
No, it's
Clearer.
on the
Right.
recording as well.
It was probably clearer on the night for you guys
Oh,
to hear than
definitely,
it
yeah.
was.
Yeah, it was dead
Now
dead
it's-
clear on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've had a growler, haven't you, Marie?
Oh my gosh.
What is wrong with you tonight?
Rude. You're going to have to sit in that corner in a
I
minute.
know. You have to sit on the naughty step.
He's drive.
No, that wasn't a growl. That was a more of a sigh, really. It was a big sigh, and we got that. I think I've talked about that
You've
before.
still got that as well, haven't you?
I've got that still on the on my voice recorder. Yeah, but that I heard that audibly at the time as well. So that's more of a disembodied voice than an EVP, isn't it? But yeah, we heard that at the time, and I picked it up on the voice recorder.
Which is what Mark's will have been as well. That's if you heard it at the time. Could have been a disembodied growl. There's definitely something about that place, though.
Yeah.
Where's that? Which one's
Greasley Hall.
Grizzly old hall.
But we went back a second time, and it wasn't.
Once it's got us.
And that mirror was gone. Remember when we were doing all that
There's a
scrying?
mirror in the back room, and we went in, and there's a load of soil on all the windowsills. Now, that's to do with some ritual. I'm guessing somebody's brought it from a graveyard, and they've either banished something, or they've summoned something, or something's gone on in this mirror. It gone on, and this mirror was just an old mirror hanging on the wall. And there's something a bit eerie. We did scrying in it, didn't we?
Yeah, I think all the team did scrying, and in every single one of us we could see like gargoyle.
Like
shapes
gargoyle shape, yeah.
and, like little devil type.
Your face
shapes.
turned into like a what you perceive to be the devil, like a gargoyle with horns and whatever.
But it wasn't just the person that was scrying; it was the people that were observing.
A couple of people
scrying.
saw the same thing, which
So-
is strange, isn't it?
So do you
boys?
think it was actually something that had been bought in the building rather than the building then at that time?
I don't know, because when we went again and when all that soil was on the
mirror was
windowsill, the
gone.
mirror had gone.
There was a
The
different
mirror
mirror.
gone.
Gone.
So it could have been the mirror then.
But just to have a little spin on it.
Go on.
If you've seen gargoyles are put on buildings to protect the building.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that. I mean, I haven't got a problem with that, because the person I used to summon and evoke was Pan. He got horns. He looked like what people think that is the devil.
Yeah, what I'm getting at, do you think everyone could have been seeing gargoyles as a protection from
Yeah,
something?
yeah, definitely.
Rather than something.
But then it was
scary.
years ago, and I knew, I don't know that much now, but I knew absolutely nothing about anything then. I just like ghost hunting.
But it's strange that you had that kind of experience there and then you went back again and got nothing but the mirror had gone the second time. So that's why I'm saying, do you think it was anything to do with the mirror the first time round?
Yeah, it could have been, yeah.
I don't think that mirror was there a long time, because we went 3 times altogether. We went first time, the mirror wasn't there. The second time, I don't know if I was with you guys, but the mirror was there. And then we went again and it was gone. So we've only
so
experienced
somebody
that
had-
mirror. So we thought someone had put that mirror, or just forgot to take it with them and left it there.
Oh, right, I'm with you.
I don't know if
Somebody who investigated it a lot.
Yeah, so I just thought,
Okay.
I've got a big thing about mirrors. Sort of second-hand mirrors where, you know, or old mirrors. I have
We've got 2 in there.
yeah. But they're not in my house.
and to but to be honest, we have investigated with some unsavoury characters who could have actually nicked that mirror.
Anyway,
And put it in
Anyway.
the...
Oh yeah, put it in somewhere.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was keeping you from something, Marie.
Yeah, so I've got a big thing about mirrors because, obviously, as you know, in Victorian times, if anybody was passing away in the building, they would cover mirrors with the theory that your soul or your energy, whatever you want to call it, would go into that mirror and be trapped in that mirror. And they did used to, and even now that there's other things that are done that involves, you know, covering mirrors with cloth and things. And I just have a thing. I don't know why. I just have this thing about old mirrors, second-hand mirrors, and not wanting them in my house. Anything else, to be fair, I would buy, you know, antique furniture, vintage furniture, second-hand things, just not mirrors. I wouldn't have a second-hand mirror in the house. I think you've got a bit of a thing with mirrors, Mark, haven't you, as well?
I have, yeah. I hate looking at them. But yeah,
Stop doing the fun fair then.
yeah, the old mirrors, yeah. I think they store some sort of energy in that.
But that's what I love about them.
Yeah. Well, I do like, it's like a Ouija board, but I don't want them in my house.
Do you not have it in
absolutely.
Not an old mirror.
No,
I've
Ouija
got
board.
Oh, Ouija board, yeah, but I wouldn't use one in the house, if that makes sense.
Where do you use it then?
Here.
People come here and just do what they want, don't they? Willy-nilly.
How rude.
Do you think mirrors can be a bit of a portal then?
I think most definitely. Something weird, a weird energy about mirrors.
Yeah, because that's how a devil's toy box is made, with mirrors facing each other, and it makes infinity. Because you shine a light in, and it bounces off one to another, and it's infinite. It's an infinite
A
loop.
devil's toy box. Not heard of that. Have you?
I've got one up that other place.
Yeah. He's got one.
Oh.
Here's one as well. Don't like second-hand mirrors. Let's put them opposite each other, she said.
Why not?
Yeah.
When I say I don't like second-hand mirrors, I mean I don't like second-hand mirrors in the place I live. I'm quite happy to have them at our HQ here. I'm quite happy to have them on the walls here. That's fine. I'm all up for a bit of scrying. I don't mind.
We also position them opposite, haven't we?
That'd be good,
Yeah, definitely.
What? Yeah, you're putting me first. What happens? Because I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue about this.
We don't
done
know yet.
scrying, haven't you?
We'll let you know when it happens.
What's the thing
Because
of-
it's sort of an it's like an infinite image, isn't it? So if you look through a mirror that's reflecting a mirror that's reflecting a mirror that's reflecting a mirror, it's sort of do you know what I mean? So
okay.
There'll be more than one of you.
Oh dear.
You just have to give us a shout if something happens. We'll be
shout,
we'll
and
be
we'll
next
get
door.
in
We'll be
the
next
car
door.
and come and drive get you.
Have you covered his favourite place he's been
Grizzly.
investigating?
Well, that's the scariest place.
The favourite place,
Yeah, I think the favourite place was probably Wood Farm.
was it?
Yeah, because we did that quite a lot, didn't we? It was like a headquarters at the time.
I liked the gatehouse house at Ludlow.
Yeah, Ludlow, that was brilliant. That was.
You came that one, didn't you?
Can we do all these again then? Because me and Marie haven't been to these.
Can't do
Have
that.
we, Marie?
Can't do that one anymore. The Aunt Alana's died now. The
Oh.
bloke has, hasn't he?
Yeah, he'll actually live there while we was investigating. Yeah, but the panel walls, there's all faces carved in the panels, like 3D faces sticking out, and they're brilliant.
I don't think I've been that one then.
Did you come? Came, didn't
I'm
you?
not sure.
Big fire going up there.
Yeah.
And the big, oh man, the
Well,
fireplace was huge.
It's right by Ludlow Castle. It was right next to Ludlow Castle.
Was it that one where we went to the minibus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took us ages to get there.
Yeah.
We
It
went,
was like a
we
big
also-
four-poster bed, and
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we also went, what's it in the minibus? Saltmarsh. Did you go there?
yeah, is that where the
North.
stones are?
Up north. They had like a garden.
Oh,
as well.
yeah, and there
The
was that.
servants' quarters.
Yeah, there was that sort of bathroom where you felt as if you were being flooded or something, being drowned.
yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got Favourite location. I don't know if one really sticks out. You know, I think.
Have you got one that you wouldn't go back to?
Yeah, I've got one I wouldn't go back to because I had a not very nice experience there, but I think I try and block that. It's really, which I'm sure
She
I've
needs
mentioned
some regression.
before, was at Stratford, at Falstaff's at Stratford. I think it was the oldest building in Stratford upon Avon, and it's a museum now. Well, was at the time. It was a few years back, quite a few years back now, and it was actually bought. It was an event with another company, and it was bought as a present for me, and myself and my husband, who doesn't really believe and doesn't tend to investigate at all, but he came with us and we made a weekend out of it, kind of thing. And we went there, and I had not a very nice experience where I didn't actually feel like I was being choked. I was just started to cough and couldn't stop coughing, and then felt like I was choking, and it was really embarrassing, and I had to be taken out by a member of staff. And the second I got outside, I stopped coughing and just felt fine. Went back in, got to the same area, started coughing again, and then we sort of moved on away from the area, and I never had a coughing fit again for the rest of the night. But it was afterwards, when I got home, I started experiencing a few things at home that I didn't particularly like, and I actually contacted the medium that was on that investigation at the time, and she basically just said, well, you know, this is how much help I got. Well, you know, when you open a door, you don't know what's coming through, do you? Yeah.
Nice.
That was the what I got. So yeah, I started experiencing a few things at home which I didn't particularly like, and I just got to the point where I basically, it may sound silly, but I basically just stood up to who or whatever, and basically, you know, stated that I wasn't happy, and it was to stop doing whatever it was doing and move away, and kind of put my foot down a bit and got a bit assertive, and it did stop. Whether that was just in my mind because I felt like I'd stood up to it, you know, I don't know, but it did stop. And that was when I took a step back away from investigating and didn't do anything for quite a while. I wouldn't even watch anything on the TV to do with the paranormal at all, because that's how much it affected me. Had a bit of a break from it, and then
just carry on.
Yeah, had a bit of a break from it, but then it pulls you back in because it's a bit addictive. So started again. So that's the one I wouldn't go back to, as Falstaff's in Stratford. Yeah.
So, touched on mediums. Do we think, if anybody to chip in on this, do we think that there's a place for mediums on paranormal investigations?
Me personally, I think that it can work well if you're doing big events, you know, because sometimes people go to be entertained, don't they? You know, so maybe having a medium on the big paid events has a place.
I suppose it's all down to whether you do a good or bad medium, but it's the good and bad medium, because you can be good one time or
I think I don't know about good or bad, but I certainly think there's genuine and fake.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay.
You know, so
that's what I should.
yeah.
Because you can go around the building all night and they can say this is in here and this is there, and there's no validation other than believing what they're saying to you.
No.
So I don't know. Even though I studied as a medium, and I went through one stage where I didn't like going on investigations where there was mediums, because it was like just a mediumship night, really.
Yeah.
Rather than getting evidence through.
I think it just. I think on some of the big, as I say, big events, the paid ghost hunts, it's a bit more for your money.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I think is what some guests would feel like. You know, not only are they having a ghost hunt, but they've got interaction with a medium as well. I think it's just a bit more for your money.
Yeah.
You know, so
I prefer going on with that one.
Yeah, like I say I've been up and down sometimes. I think depends if we've had a bad one or not.
Well, I've experienced a bad one.
I think on investigations, though, when you've been investigating long enough and you've done loads of them, you become very sensitive yourself, and you're able to say whether there's anything present in that room or any energy your body reacts, and you're able to pick up on these things yourself anyway. So I don't know.
It's at the end of the day, when it's a paid ghost hunt, you're looking after the public, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've got to keep the public busy, entertained. I'm not saying faking stuff, but I suppose the more you've got going on, like
Absolutely.
you say,
Yeah.
the more equipment you've got, the more a medium or whatever that may be is best for the customer, really.
Yeah.
You don't want them walking away and say, well, you don't want them having a night like we have when we go on a ghost hunt, do you?
It's a
You
very
don't know, do you?
no. There's a very fine line between, and I think we're all in agreement here on this. There's a very fine line between having a genuine investigation, but not boring the pants off them. Because if nothing's happening, and we certainly would never and have never made anything happen or faked anything, but if there's nothing happening, it's hard work being the lead investigator to constantly be calling out, constantly trying to trying to evoke some sort of response or activity. So I suppose if you've got somebody else there that can step in and start chitty-chattering about history or what they're picking up on, you know what I mean, it kind of takes a bit of pressure off you and carries on giving your guests some sort of... What do you think, Mark, about mediums on investigations?
Yeah, I'd love go on and invest with Clinton Baptiste.
Oh my God. He would definitely open his
would be
third eye for you,
I'd
Mark.
pay a lot of money.
I'll be honest, I'd like on a pub
Wouldn't he,
crawl
Faye?
with him.
He would definitely open his third eye for you, Mark. Definitely.
But
Marie
yeah,
and I are two of his great followers, so if he's listening in,
Hi,
welcome at
Clint.
the Ravens Nook.
Yes.
but yeah,
He's
obviously Clinton Baptiste is obviously a real medium.
Obviously,
he's
so
very
that would be a
entertaining.
genuine experience. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like what you were saying. You got mediums and you got mediums.
Yeah.
You know, and you get some good mediums that are bad on the night, and if you've got like paying customers that are on an invest, then you're under a lot of pressure. But if you're just doing an independent invest like we usually do, then you haven't got to have a medium or whatever.
No,
But
that's right.
I suppose it's all right if you've got a medium there, but to just confirm the things that you're picking up,
Yeah,
like you can feel somebody walking behind you and whatever.
yeah. Well, we could do without... As I'm sure people know by now, we don't like theatricals, do we?
Theatrical.
So we don't want
Pantomime.
anybody being possessed or taken over or... You know what I mean? No, we don't
Can't
want
beat
none
a
of
good possession. Can you?
Definitely not.
I went on one invest. I think it wasn't Canic, but it was one of the paid invests. It was before I met Nick C, and there was a medium, and he must have been possessed about 6-7 times that night by 7 different.
No, that doesn't happen, does it? Let's be honest.
I think I know him.
Yeah, it wasn't him actually.
I can imagine who he was actually.
He'd thrown himself to the ground as if he's been possessed and
it
stuff,
sounds like
outdoors like.
But you know, also the other thing is if it's your business and you're doing that particular ghost hunt, that event, whatever, and you're inviting a medium along, and then they do things like that, then it's your name, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
You know, how many people are going to turn around and go, "Oh, don't book with that particular company because it's just pantomime," you know? So,
You guys have never been Canic, have you? Canic Chase?
have you, Faye, been to Canic Chase?
No. The
never been.
black-eyed, is it the black-eyed child?
And the pig man and all sorts there, isn't
It's
there?
actually interesting and kind of real weird energy.
I've
Yeah.
actually swear I bought me Jaws poster from today,
Canic.
What, Canic Chase?
right next to it.
Oh,
Not from the
You
in the
didn't meet
woods.
somebody actually
He
in
was
the
going to sell
woods.
he was going to sell a George
Well,
poster.
that's
in the
what he
woods.
said. He said that's where
Yeah.
you bought it from. So, you know.
Have you
Going
got
to buy a Bigfoot
documentation?
picture, but they wouldn't sell it to you when they
Oh,
got
what? No,
the
no,
Bigfoot
yeah.
picture.
I've
I
been
tried to
to
take a
Cannock
photo.
Chase, but I've never
Investigated.
hunted.
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 I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to say that we're sitting in the new HQ, which is a really old building, although it looks very modern. And I don't know if the mics will have picked any of this up, but I can hear singing.
Yeah, singing
And
and
it's
knocking.
a woman's voice, and I've heard it several times. And yet, when we stop talking, it's just deadly silent.
That's fake.
Are you
Well,
singing, Faye?
You'd know it if it was me singing.
Yeah, it is
Well, let me tell
1700
you.
and something, the building there dates back to.
Yeah. So that's a bit strange.
Sorry, we were just listening to something there.
Listening on a podcast
Yeah.
doesn't go down well, does it?
No, not really. Not when you're supposed to be talking. What is the scariest thing you've had on an invest, Nick? Not your. I know your story that got you into it and everything that scared you.
No, yeah, that wasn't on an investigation. But on an investigation would probably would be. It wasn't dead scary, but it was a little bit. It was with Faye in that cellar. We got
I know.
locked in.
You got locked in.
We got locked in, and there was a gap underneath, and I looked underneath the gap, didn't I? It's because I thought someone was holding the.
We couldn't open the door. Both of us, none of us could open the door. We were shaking it, rattling it.
Yeah, we was locked in. I thought
And you
someone
looked under the door and what?
to see if there's any feet underneath the door.
Thinking someone was holding
Holding
it.
it.
Okay,
Fine.
and you couldn't see anything.
No.
But then it just opened.
Then we-
and then it just opened. Just simply just opened.
Was it that terrifying that you were locked in a cellar with Faye,
It was
Nick?
a little bit scary. As
Telling
can
you.
It's not
imagine.
very nice, is it, Faye?
No,
No. But
Well,
that, was
I
pro-
never-
that was probably.
I enjoyed it, Nick.
No.
Alright.
So what's your most frightening?
Haven't been.
Yep.
Oh.
See, I beg to differ,
Why?
because I remember you being somewhere doing a bit of an experiment, and you did feel. I'm not saying that you were frightened, but you were quite uncomfortable and you didn't like it when you felt every time you put the blindfold on, you felt like there was something in your face.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
You did
was a
find
bit,
that
yeah. It was
uncomfortable
a bit
and
intense. That was
yeah.
yeah. Doing the ST experiment, and every time I put the blindfold down, it's as if somebody was. I actually felt them breathing on my face. They were that close. Take them up, and it was fine. Back down, same again. That was a bit intense. Run dead hard on her, so. Yeah. no, I was uncomfortable. I was, yeah, you're right. I was uncomfortable
Yeah.
there with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, yeah. And it's very rare I get uncomfortable with spirits. Spirits, not spirit.
Spirit.
It's very rare. But that was a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been shoved in a room on your own in the dark. It just doesn't bother me really, because I don't know, it just doesn't. But that was a bit, what's it?
I'll be honest with you. I'll hold my hands up and say I'm scared on most investigations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing, because it keeps your adrenaline going and it keeps your energy up. And I'm not saying I run around screaming. I'm not that kind of scared, but I think I am. I do get quite, a bit unsure if I'm the first one to walk into a room, or I'm a little bit nervy about it. I try not to show it because it doesn't look great, does it? But I do.
There's a lot of people. If something happens, they'll shit themselves, won't they? But if something happens for me, I'll go at it and want more of them.
I've never run out. I've never run away from anything. I've never heard a noise and ran or screamed, or I've never run away from anything. But I am. The adrenaline's going. I'm always a little bit dubious and a bit nervous when going into an investigation. But I don't think that's a bad thing.
I'm not saying something may never really scare me, because until you come across it, you don't know, do you?
You're pretty
Sleepy.
steadfast on investigations,
I
aren't
don't know
you,
why
Faye?
I go, because I'm always asleep.
You're normally quite steadfast on an investigation, though, aren't you? You don't. There's no hesitation with you going anywhere or even doing something on your own.
No.
You're quite.
I haven't had a lot, to be honest, on investigations that have frightened me. I've had things happen to myself, but not on investigations. I've not really had anything that I can say has really frightened me. No. Yet.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
Yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Plenty of time. So I guess your growl was your
Yeah, it wasn't so much the growl part. It was the physically
the
being
whole
pulled
thing.
back.
Yeah.
And I just sort of, I wouldn't say I was frightened, but I just froze.
Yeah.
So I suppose it is frightened.
I think that's a thing in itself. A lot of people use that term, don't they, in the paranormal with investigating as this. Just, I think it must be an effect of something, because this a froze is quite a common thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite a as if something's stopping you from physically moving.
Yeah, at that moment in time, I was sort of trying to assess what was going on.
Yeah.
Try and figure out what was the logical reasoning behind, thinking must have caught it on something. And then the growl and the sniggering happened to just sort of compound it even more.
Because that's the thing that we all do. What people might not realise is just because we're investigators and this is what we enjoy, and we all have different beliefs, is that if anything happens on an investigation, we do all try to make sense of it, try to debunk it, look for other reasons why it might happen. None of us do that's paranormal immediately. Not every knock and bang and we do try to find other reasons as to why things happen. So
I'll tell you another one where I was a bit nervy. It was at that graveyard. Because I've got a theory that graveyards aren't haunted.
Yeah.
Right. So I had a stint of going everywhere on my own in the dark, in the middle of a graveyard. I thought, I'll do this, film it. You go paranoid. You're hearing stuff, you're seeing stuff, because you're on your own. And you're sort of walking in circles, and your torch is always on, and you're just hear something there, or just seeing something there, and all this. And then you came, didn't you? And it's different again. It was just dead calm, because I knew Nick was there.
I would have thought that was one of the safest places to go,
Yeah.
because people are laid to rest.
The reason I did it is because when I was doing the odd video and everything, and people were saying, like, we're in a haunted graveyard, you see on the telly all these graveyards are haunted, and I just don't get it. I just don't get why a graveyard would be haunted.
I used to go to Fenton Cemetery and meditate inside the cemetery. Quite regular.
But you get no noise, are you?
Dead peaceful.
there's a theory about how fear may sort of manifest itself during an investigation, isn't it? So some people think that fear can I don't really know how to put it, can make you a bit more open, make you a bit more alert to things, and other people will say, well, energy can feed from the fear and stuff like that. So it's
what's going on? Is everybody else hearing these noises?
I have heard that it sounds like
Like
sounds
a
like
rumble.
quite a no I can hear like quite a high pitched, like a woman's voice or singing or
Oh, yeah, I have, yeah. All night.
Through
been
the
on and off.
earphones.
Well, I don't know. That's
well,
what
I've got no, I haven't got any on, but I can hear it, and it's coming from that way.
Yeah, there was some tapping coming from that one.
Yeah,
Is that what
tapping
you?
as
Was that
well.
why you went out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
And
yeah.
there's nobody anywhere.
I thought someone was
Ghosts.
knocking on the door.
Spirits.
Oh, it's poltergeist.
No,
Isn't there a cemetery just behind here?
no, it's a school.
Is it? Well, how far back's the cemetery?
It's quite a bit.
Oh, it's right the way down. It's
Oh, the
about
big
Calm
one on
outside.
Lick Road.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, don't say that. Everybody will know where we are.
You can edit that bit out, can't you, Nick? That's not a problem.
Yeah, just down there by the East Coast. Yeah. I'm not joking.
You're Scarborough.
San Antonio Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be great. Wouldn't it, doing a paranormal podcast while there was paranormal activity going on? That would be different. Definitely.
It just happened.
What to see? I haven't heard any.
Have you not?
No.
Well, we have.
It seems to be when we're all talking and then when we're quiet and nothing's going on.
I can feel like a faint, not feel, I can hear like a faint voice in the background.
Is that high pitched like a woman? That's what I can hear.
Whether they're singing over there, I don't know.
Ooh, over where?
Houses way back there, didn't they? But would you go on a ghost hunt? Paranormal investigation or a ghost hunt?
Thank you.
On your own all night?
No.
I don't know if I could keep myself entertained.
Don't know if you
long.
can keep yourself awake.
Wait,
Well,
you
yeah.
just take sleeping
To
bag,
be
wouldn't you?
fair,
Just stay at home.
I
Bottle of
wouldn't be
gin.
very good, would I?
No.
I guess I suppose it depends where it would be and how you feel. Because if you go in somewhere and you feel relatively comfortable,
You can sleep.
then yeah, I could. But if it was somewhere that you got that vibe or you felt that energy, or you just sometimes you walk into a place and you just immediately feel on edge, don't you? You don't know why, you just do. So I think I would have to go in and see what my body was telling me first before I decided if I could stay there or not. Yeah.
Would you, Mark? Would you do it on your own?
Again, it depends where it is. I'd probably do that
Right then,
poltergeist house on my own.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's nothing there.
East
was there?
Drive.
Yeah.
Didn't ever give me anything there, though, is there? Because the poltergeist was in the 70s, 80s, 70s.
But we've talked about this before, haven't we? The
Then,
original
just heard it
poltergeist.
Yeah. I
That
heard
was a
something.
knocking.
A crying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The original poltergeist that was there may not be there anymore, but do you think there's a possibility that something else could be, for the amount of people that have gone in there and maybe with intentions, or left some energy there, or the original reported poltergeist, I'm going to say may not, definitely won't still be there, but is there a possibility that something else could be? Because people do get activity occasionally
that's
there.
right,
And
Somebody could have taken something with
I
them.
think they take their own.
Left it with
They take their own, don't they? I think.
do you think? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying make it up, but I think they make their own paranormal evidence. I do. I don't think there's anything there.
When you say,
I think
you
we
mean
should go
fake
as a
it?
team.
Well, I don't even mean fake it.
I've never been.
Have you not?
They could actually, the
Just
people who are
counsellors.
investigating could actually believe what they're getting belongs to the house. Possible. I see loads on the Facebook page of the East Drive, and there's people on there who rave about it, and then there's the other side that say, like us, there's nothing there.
That was a whistle.
I heard that this time.
That was the way I heard that. I really hope these mics can pick some of this up. Yeah.
Was it a dead loud whistle or just a faint?
No,
one?
No, it
faint.
was a faint.
I think it could have been outside.
I don't know.
Well, it's got to be pretty loud because we're
I've
in a
got
room with a
headphones on.
closed door. We've got a staircase. That's got to be and a car park. So it's got to be a pretty loud whistle to hear that in here.
Plus, how far would these mics pick up as well? The mic, because we've got headphones on.
I don't know. I've
you haven't?
I've got no headphones on, so
But
if
that's what
I
I mean,
heard
so-
that, surely a mic heard that. I
So,
don't know.
so we're less likely to hear it if these mics only go back about a foot or a metre.
Could be.
Mm.
Yeah, right, Mark again.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's a good job, you.
Yeah, would have been right.
So yeah, enjoyed that little chitty chat again.
Something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gone anywhere with it, have we?
No.
It happens a lot, doesn't it?
We've kind of stuck to it this time. We've
Yeah,
actually gone
nothing.
through. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We've actually finished off talking about what we started talking about, which is unusual.
I nearly went off on a couple, but
Well, thanks again, Mark.
You're very welcome.
For another chitty chat. Always enjoy talking to you. That's great.
Yeah, I've enjoyed doing it.
Fabulous.
Always come with a different t-shirt on.
Yeah. I was wearing this one 2 weeks ago when we did the last one.
I'm just here for the booze.
Notice that.
I have noticed he's got some great t-shirts, hasn't he?
It's like, what's it? It's like, what's it called? The goggle box. You know, them with the mugs. Mark's like that with his t-shirts. They have to have a different t-shirt on every time.
Fantastic.
And you're like the one with the cakes. Oh yeah.
Oh,
They've always got loads of cakes on the what's it? And they got that big dog. What's it? Do you watch it?
no.
That's what it is. That's what it reminds me of anyway.
No, I don't. Oh, I do. On the puff, they would put the cakes out on. That's because I bring treats.
They've got all them Rottweilers.
Yeah.
Dead, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. So Dave, the Rottweiler's
Right,
name,
dead, I
isn't
think.
it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, that's
I had a bull
What a
terrier
lovely-
named Dave.
Did you?
He was deaf.
What?
English bull terrier.
Deaf Dave.
Deaf Dave.
Dave, his name.
So you know when we just had that conversation about
He didn't know
sticking
his
to the
name.
Yeah, we had
subject
to
all
go
the
off
way
it, didn't
through,
we?
we
He
had
didn't
to
know
go
his
off
name was
it.
Dave, though.
I bet he
Couldn't
didn't.
hear it. Couldn't hear it, could he?
Did he lip read?
I don't know, you couldn't do anything.
So anyway, so email address, Nick, for anybody that wants to get in touch.
Contact at ghostencounters.org.
Brilliant. And we'll be chatting a bit more rubbish soon.
Yeah, more rubbish.
More rubbish.
I'd like to chat on the flat earth.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've got a flat earth one coming up. We've also got aliens and abductions coming up too. So if you've got any questions
That's going to be an all-nighter.
in advance to ask about any of those subjects,
Yeah.
feel free.
And we are thinking about doing one on psychedelics, but we don't know if it's suitable. So
I have
You
noticed
could
there are
always-
some questions. Have you noticed on the Facebook page about flat Earth?
Is it?
Yes.
That's brilliant then. We'll get some of them
Nick will
answered
answer
for
them.
you.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I'll tell him he's wrong about it.
Good old flat earth.
Hey.
Fab. So yeah.
Is the earth round or flat, Mark, before we go?
Maybe both.
Oh, way up
Could
now.
be holographic. Could
Trying to
be.
get there. No, I just wanted a yes or a no. Is it round?
Well, flat earthers believe it's round. Don't
Globe.
they? Just don't
Is
believe
it
it's
a
global.
globe?
Yeah.
But
Square.
see, I'm fascinated by flat earthers, the stuff, because it makes you question everything. And globalists, they can't answer it and they go nasty.
Yeah, all the time.
They get really
They
aggressive.
do. They go nasty all
They
the
probably
time.
go nasty because they're sick of hearing the rubbish.
No, well, then they shouldn't be on a flat earth page.
No, you're right, it shouldn't.
Is it rubbish though?
Well, that's what I
Wow.
can't understand why they go on. People say they do it for fun, but
Listen,
They've
this is
got
what
me
this is
really
what
bored.
makes the world go round. Sorry about the pun.
I nearly
If
came
we
out there
all
and said something, but I'm not
did,
going
If
to.
we all believed in the same stuff and all had the same beliefs, so we'd live in a pretty boring world, wouldn't we? So
Yeah.
this is why it works.
yeah.
I got told I was a conspiracy theorist at work the other week because
I think you're a conspiracy.
I
theorist.
believed in ghosts.
Goats.
That's not a conspiracy.
They were saying it at work.
Believe in
They
ghosts?
said, "Oh, you'll be believing in ghosts next." And I went, "Pardon?
I already
I
do.
beg your pardon."
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
How rude, Faye. How rude.
Yeah.
See, there's some people out there that are just switched off. I know. You can say flat earthers are just mental, and I think they are. And I believe that.
Yeah, but there's people out there that say people who believe in the afterlife are a bit mental.
Yeah.
People who go hunting for ghosts are a bit mental.
We are.
You know, so there's two. This is what I say. Everybody's
I don't
got
care.
Someone in the mental asylum calling someone else mental.
That's it. The lunatics are running the asylum.
their- Yeah.
We're all mental a bit, aren't we?
Yeah.
Must be
Right.
sat here talking a load of shit.
Let's just finish there then before we go.
Before we go
Yeah.
off
Before we say too
anymore.
much.
Before we go on to another
Don't say too
podcast.
much. Yeah.
The FBI are listening now. We've said too much.
Gosh.
So contact us on
Yeah,
contact. See what he did there?
Or the Facebook page. Instagram, are we on that?
Yeah, Instagram,
YouTube.
YouTube.
There you
And
go.
you put them all in one place so people can find
Yes.
us. 'Cause they're all over
I
the
couldn't
place.
find half of them.
No, this is true.
Yes, so that was
Cool.
very enjoyable both weeks with you, Mark.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Mark. Thanks again. It's great.
And we'll have you back on, but not talking about flat ears.
No,
Nothing will be on
have
his
you,
side.
We'll have you back when you're ready to do
Yeah.
some.
Sash.
Yeah, when you're ready to do a session on your.
Me and Marie at the same time. I
Yeah,
do believe.
yeah. Past life regression. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
I want to see if I can jump into Marie's and wave
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, that would be very interesting. Yeah, definitely. Okay, thanks very much, and we'll be back again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.